supper, and I said, Captain, come on, we've got to go to them. He looked around. There's a warrior riding straight toward him with a lance. I said, Captain, look out, look out. The captain took a shot, ball, pinned. He's underneath his dying horse. He tries to pull himself out. Another soldier shoots the warrior. I look at him and I say, Captain, give me your arm. Give me your arm. And he's laying there. His eyes are growing. The leg is shattered. I can see it. Another warrior is coming toward him. All I do is reach down, scoop him up, put him up behind me, and get him up behind us. And I yell, let's go, men. And they see the captain. And we ride out. Oh, we made it. Oh, that battle along the road, Bud, was an Indian victory, but well, when the army doesn't want to talk about those. We made camp that night up in the Wyoming Territory. Soldiers had theirs, scouts had theirs. They just kept calling me a hero. I wasn't the hero. My horse was the hero. So I went out to where she was. Shook out the last of the oats I had for her, fed her, loved on her, rubbed her down, praised her for carrying double, getting us out alive, and rescuing so many soldiers who did well. Even a woman like me has to go back to her own kind. I walked into where the scouts had their fire. Wild Bill Hickok passed me a cup of coffee. I took it. He said, Jane, you boys were talking. You boys were talking in that way. Well, that's true. But while you were out with your horse, we decided that everybody out here in the West has a nickname but you. So we decided to call you Calamity Jane. Since you're always around, there's a calamity. Now, I copied this in there. I could come up with a lot better nickname than that. The more I pondered my cup of coffee, it's sure enough a little better than being called a catastrophe or an accident now and then. Now, my friends either call me Calamity Jane or they call me Jane. I was born Martha Jane Canary, but no one calls me Martha. Do you understand? I thought so. Oops. I've seen the West get settled. Downright tamed, if you ask me. And ladies, I have played the proper woman's role. I've been a wife, mother, nurse, cook, laundress, all those things that proper women have been known to do. But ladies, I can't make enough money wearing women's clothes, so I put on men's. So what have I done wearing men's clothes? I've been a farmer, gambler, prospector, bullwhacker. I better explain what a bullwhacker is. It means a freighter. You have a long train, you have oxen. I know they're not bulls, we just call them bulls. I know you can't work bulls together, but we just call them bulls, and that's where the whacking with the whip comes in. I delivered mail for the U.S. government, was the only woman scout the U.S. Cavalry ever had. My favorite job of all was when I was with the Wild West Show. My job with the Wild West Show was to ride out into the arena, whooping and hollering, till all eyes were on me. And when I'd get in the end, just waving and whooping, I'd throw my hat up in the air, shoot it a couple times to catch it before it ever comes down. See, if you miss, you better pick it up. Now, if your horse is the size of this, it's not too much of a problem, but you know that's not the case. And ain't it true? The older a woman gets, same as a man, the harder it is to put her nose where her toes are, let alone beyond. And my eyes started to go. When I drove the Deadwood stage, doubled up the cowhand, I loved all parts of it but one. I don't know, maybe you've been to a state fair? Well, there's always that point where they're trying to get you to come in and spend money. So they'd have us at the Wild West Show sit out there in front, posing appropriately. Well, that was all fine and good. But So I get kind of an attitude on, and I remember the last Saturday I worked with the Wild West show. There was a family coming along over here. You know, you've seen them at the fairs and this, and they're all excited, and they're coming along, and all of a sudden, the man with them, I presume the father, judging by the kids, and he stepped between him and the woman with him, and he pointed out just in a loud voice, looking down by my toes, as if I couldn't hear him, pointing at me going, I wonder how many men she's ever shot. In my mood, it was, none yet. Truth is, I don't even carry a pistol. Never have. But you know, since I got these photographs, here, you two, you put your eyeballs. Real Calamity Jane, only one scout the U.S. Cavalry. It's right here. But the thing is, well, I've been picking on these two. I better pick on somebody else. Now, this is what they were trying to sell. You two put your eyeballs together. Now, what would you call that? Here, put it closer. I figured if I got the young ones with us. What do you call that long thing like that, right? A rifle. Yes. Well, the truth is, those photographers, they're worse than reporters. Because that photographer, let me borrow that back a minute. He had me perching up on something like I ain't ever comfortable on. And then he had flowers painted back of it. I ain't never seen flowers east, west, and in between. It looked like this. And then he said, where's your guns? You gotta have a rifle. Well, here, I'll just pass them around. You know how to break them up, divide them out one at a time. Well, that photographer, when he got done with that, they're Thierer phones. Because everyone knows that the Wild West keeps all their guns. You're not allowed around town here with anything like those on sidearms. But here, I've been ranting and raving. Does anybody have a question they might like to ask of me?
Maybe we should first make a confession.
Please do. I was waiting for you to come back. The photographs are not from Alexander Gardner. They're William